Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy for the collective for November 2022. And then we're going to break it down for each life path number. We're also going to take a look at the illuminations, the full moon, the new moon that's occurring throughout November, including the major eclipse that we have at the beginning of the month. We're going to break that down for your individual life path number as we move through the reading. Before we get into it, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personal reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. I will be getting out the 2023 year ahead forecast for each life path number sometime in November. But this is a great time it's a good time anytime, but it's a great time at the end of the year as we're gearing up to start a new cycle, a new year, to get your own personal year ahead forecast. If that's something that you're interested in, that will dial it down into your own personal numerology chart and the cycles that you'll be moving throughout 2023. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can book some time with me on my website and we can take a look. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So November is a 17-8 universal cycle. So for some people, you may see things come to fruition or rewards come in for things that you may have began back in December 2022 or December 2021 or January 2022. So if there's some things that, if you can kind of look back to that time frame and see if there was anything significant that transpired in your life, whether it was some kind of closure, whether it was some kind of new beginning, it's a new inspiration, whatever, and it could be something that you've been sort of working on throughout the year, you may see things or new insights come to fruition at this time that tie back to that period. For some, you may see things surface for you around those same similar themes that came up for you back then that either can be repaired at this time and built upon, or because we also have some very strong eclipses in November, or a strong eclipse in November, right? So things that resurface now may need to be dealt with and closed out more permanently. So I kind of see this as it's possible that someone or something may resurface that's sort of tied back to December 2021 or January 2022, that now you're able to get some solid closure on and sort of move forward from holistically. So emotionally, physically, whatever. That's very, very possible. And you may see that come in very, very strongly around this eclipse that's happening November 8th. Okay, so the energy of the 17-8 is going to really ask us to be very truthful, both with ourselves and with others at this time. So where are we maybe self-sabotaging ourselves or overindulging ourselves? Where can we move closer to our true alignment that's not based on fear or desire? So neither of those extremes, but rather integrity, confidence, and our inner inner knowing. So where have we sort of avoided having the difficult conversations with others because we didn't want to maybe rock the boat, even though by not doing so, we were creating unnecessary inner turmoil, right? So it's like we wanted to save or spare the feelings, the emotions of that other person, but in doing so, it created a storm within us. And so this energy is going to ask us to be very honest with ourselves about where in life we show up in that way and where we need to potentially respond or take action in a different way in order to get different results. Because the truth will always rise to the surface, right? One way or another. So, and it can be incredibly uncomfortable when it does that, because we know what the truth is, we know what our truth is, but a lot of times we'll suppress that again to accommodate or to be in service to other people, right? To not rock the boat. This energy can feel very raw. It can feel very much like sort of digging at a wound that is trying to heal, but can't heal because we keep digging at it, right? And so it's that kind of energy where it's like the truth is going to come to the surface, and it's going to keep coming to the surface until sort of we deal with it, we clean it up, and we allow it to heal in an appropriate way, and then we move forward in a way that's more truthful for ourselves, right? So again, this can feel like very raw. This can feel very like sensitive energy, very emotional energy. But it's ultimately working to get us to our own truth, right? Our own autonomy, and to be able to show up in that way, even if others don't understand, even if others find offense to it, or, are turned off by it because they're not getting what they want out of the situation any longer. We have to get to a point to be, to be most in alignment with our own energies and our own journey. We have to sort of follow our own truth, right? And that truth is never going to physically harm someone or intentionally harm someone, because it has nothing to do with anybody else. It's about ourselves, right? So this energy is kind of getting to that core, getting to the truth of the matter. And I would also say that with this energy, if there's anything that's sort of been hidden behind the scenes, done in secret, that has a potential to come to the surface now as well. So if you have been doing something behind someone's back, or again, in secrecy, and there's not a lot of integrity behind it, maybe, right? Like, this isn't a moral judgment, you do you, but just know that this energy will sort of bring out the truth of a situation, so that it can be dealt with, right? Because if, let's just say, for example, you're having an affair, it's not that there's anything necessarily wrong with the action, like you doing what you want to do with that other person. The harm is in doing it behind another person's back type thing without full disclosure, right? So it's like, you know what I'm trying to get at. It's like, you can be with whoever you want to be with, but if that process is harming another intentionally, right, or you're aware of it, chances are that's going to come to the surface, so that what's best for the highest good of all can come to the surface and be dealt with. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this energy is not about moral judgment. It's just about bringing things to light, bringing things out in the open, so that all parties can move forward in a way that's most healthy for all involved. So again, 17-8, the truth is always going to rise to the surface one way or another. And this energy simply asks us to be the one to bring it up and to honor it with ourselves and with our interactions with others. So this energy can bring up a lot of self-doubt as well. Irrational fears and superficial irritants can come to the surface now to help us to sort of delve much deeper into the true I am within. So throughout November, before we get into Sagittarius season, we're in the sort of depths of Scorpio season. And so this is all very much Scorpionic energy, right? Or I would say in numerology, it could be seen as like 13-4 energy, where things are like really being, there's a deep dive, things are coming to the surface to be worked through, the truth is coming to light. There's a lot of emotional, deep psyche excavations, right? And so again, it can feel raw, it can feel highly sensitive, it can feel emotional as we move through it. And as we, again, delve much deeper into the truth of who we are, at the true I am from within. So this energy helps to sort of lift the veil of illusion and clear the cobwebs so that we're able to see much more clearly what is or what feels true for us, and what sort of is more made up stories by the ego to protect us from something that we don't need protection from, but rather we're meant to explore. The ego is a really good trickster in that it will sort of create stories in the sort of guise of protection, but in reality, it's putting up a wall because we don't want to feel what we're meant to feel and explore what we're meant to explore in those inner depths. So the energy of the 17-8 can bring about more sort of mental vitality and sort of open a channel to the unconscious to help us to solve problems that we've been working through. And more than likely, those solutions will sort of call us to move outside of our perceived comfort zone, further into unknown territory. And it's through that exploration that we will, of course, then become more familiar with that new landscape, right, of ourselves. So this is very scorpionic energy. Like this is very 13-4 energy. This is very much about going into the inner psyche, going deep, getting to the truth of the matter, our own truth of the matter, as well as, like I talked about earlier, truths coming to the surface that may have been hidden from others, right? Like, or that we're trying to hide from others, or that others were trying to hide from us. Those coming to light, whether we want them to or not, to be dealt with, so that everybody in this situation can move into a higher frequency. If they choose to. With this energy, we can be asked to take risks now that we wouldn't normally consider doing. So this is like sort of that giving us the confidence and the courage to do those things we wanted to do, but couldn't find our why, or couldn't find, again, sort of the extra oomph to talk ourselves into it, to be able to do it, right? So again, maybe the ego was coming in with stories about why we're not worthy, why we're not good enough, why we're not ready yet, that sort of thing. That's a good one that the ego likes to use, is you're not ready for this yet. Who do you think you are, type thing. And so then we refrain from stepping into whatever it is we're being asked to step into because we feel like we're not ready for it. When in actuality, typically when the opportunity comes in, it's because you are ready, right? We are ready. So this energy could also bring new people and relationships to our doorstep. Many of these people have something to offer our experience, which I would say is pretty accurate with everybody that, enters into our awareness or into our experience. These people, though, specifically can offer some form of assistance, potentially, or a missing puzzle piece that we've been searching for. So be open to the people who feel significant this month that you cross paths with. And again, this could be somebody from the past that cross paths, or that we see in a different light, or there's a new aha moment around this person, whatever. And also I go back to what I talked about earlier, which is it's also possible that someone from the past resurfaces, especially someone from, again, maybe that time frame of December 2021 to January 2022, that resurfaces, that is really surfacing now for final closure. That's very, very possible. But there's also the possibility that through that closure, or if you don't have anything to close out, that someone new or some new people come in now who can really assist you or assist us, I'm in this equation as well, in a really big way. And again, it's sort of like that missing puzzle piece, the aha moment that this person can bring, or these people can bring, that we've been sort of searching for. So be open to the people who feel significant. Be open to asking for assistance, whatever assistance you feel like you need at this time, right? If you've been hitting a roadblock, if you're struggling with something, this is going to be a beautiful month to ask for that assistance that you need, and then be open to receiving it. Also, you yourself may be unexpectedly asked for assistance by someone, right? So someone might come to you in need of something, or you hold the key for something, or you hold the missing puzzle piece for someone. And so if somebody comes to you for that assistance and you feel holistically capable of giving them that assistance, right? Body, mind, spirit, whatever, then this is a beautiful energy to do so. And a great opportunity for positive exchange of energy through that action. So the help that you give and or receive under this energy can sort of spark the feeling of hope within self and within others. So this can be just a truly incredible, beautiful energy, and you can be a big part of that. You can be a key player in that. So you are the star of the show under this 17-8 energy. So you get to decide how you want to use the warmth of that spotlight. All right, well, let's get into each individual life path number now for November. Life path number 9. So I pulled an animal spirit message for you all, and you got fox energy. And this is very much aligned with the energy that you all are working with throughout November, which is a cycle of 8. So fox energy brings with it this energy of fortitude, passion, leadership. And so in alignment with the 8 energy that you all are working with this month, there's definitely a call here for you to step into some leadership role, whether that's, again, like within your own life or in some, like, again, career capacity or your efforts with a community, whatever. There's something here where your expertise is needed and you're being asked to share it in a way that is going to potentially benefit the greater good, right? And so there's a level of like confidence that comes with this that is, again, it's almost like you're being asked to really follow your passion and find confidence within that passion to be able to deliver the message, the expertise, whatever this is. There's definitely a lot here, especially with fox energy and then the 8 energy that you all are working with this month. And that we're collectively working with. We're also working with collective 8 energy collectively, right? There's something here around, again, following your passion, stepping into your power, letting that passion, letting that sort of ambition, drive, all those things sort of ignite your confidence level so you can step into this, right? Because 9s are just innately so sort of accustomed to helping others, showing up for others, being sort of more selfless in a way, right? Sometimes you're in your shadow and that's not the case, but there's always sort of that inner drive that's sort of pushing you to step into that humanitarian role. And so when you're working in a cycle of 8 and you're working with fox energy, again, this is like leadership role. This is very ambitious energy. This is maintaining your integrity as you pursue whatever it is that you're pursuing and come back to the why and all of that. But there's definitely something here about like not holding yourself back for going after what it is that you want, especially if the results could have bring sort of solutions or new perspectives to the greater good. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot here around 9s, again, maybe taking the leadership role or taking the reins when it comes to your finances and your mindset around your money and your resources. Or if there's a power dynamic, a power struggle that you've been trying to move through and figure out, this could be you standing up for yourself and really putting up some boundaries, healthy boundaries, communicating those boundaries and then holding those boundaries and not being the doormat in whatever the situation is, right? And there's a way to do that in a healthy way so that you can maintain that relationship or continue to build on it, usually, right? Sometimes the relationship just falls apart and that's just part of it and whatever, but especially with eclipse season. But there's definitely something here about for November, for you all working with this 8 energy and fox energy coming up, for you to just, again, follow your passion, follow what feels right for you, step into your power, use your voice, don't be afraid to ask for what you need, and then be open to receiving it. That's another big one. And this is also a theme, again, collectively, but asserting yourself in a way to where if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, that you put the brakes on that you stand up for yourself, you put out those boundaries, you tell the other person or the other people what it is that you need to be able to thrive, and can they meet you there? If they can't, that's the next conversation to be had, right? But definitely something here about being more assertive, going after what it is that you need, and standing in your power, right? In your truth type thing. Okay. We do have an eclipse, of course, coming up. It's a full moon lunar eclipse. It's happening on the 8th of November. For you all, you're going to be working with 7 energy. So the 7 energy is very much, again, about truthfulness, like finding our own truth, following that truth, and trust. So trusting ourselves to be able to make the right decisions for ourselves in the moment, and then trusting that decision and not second guessing ourselves or not beating ourselves up if it doesn't turn out exactly as we had hoped or anticipated it would. There's also this energy around, with 7 being the bridge between the ethereal and the physical and the more metaphysical. And so it may be 9s because 9 is a very, just by sort of a signature of 9 is very spiritual. It's a very connected energy. It's a higher octave it's a higher octave vibration, right? And so with the 7 coming in, some of you 9s may see at this eclipse some new gifts come in. So you might wake up and all of a sudden your clairs are open, or you're, seeing things you haven't seen before, or hearing things you haven't heard before. Or you feel called to dabble in some of the divination tools that sort of can open the channel to some of those, to the unseen, right? So you may, I don't know, get the download that you want to do Reiki, learn Reiki, or start working with tarot or numerology or astrology or whatever. That might come in very strongly for you around this eclipse. That might be that you are unlocking a new gift that you have access to, or that has always been there. But again, you're like ready to start dabbling in it so that you can use that gift in a way that, again, can potentially help others. Let's see. 7 energy will also potentially bring up things around health, your body, your holistic health as well. So like body, mind, spirit. This is a good time to potentially start that process of, if there's any addictions, if there's any like self-defeating behaviors that you want to get a hold of, right? That you want to get a grasp on and start to heal that. This is a great time to start seeing a therapist, to see a healer, to start a new physical, maybe some kind of program that sort of alters or changes the way that, of what you consume, right? Like what you put into your body, all those things. So it's very possible that some things may come up for you at this time to take a closer look at, to see how it is that you want to incorporate it so that you can feel better holistically. That's very possible. It's also possible that you may see solutions come in around this time around health, around, again, holistic health. So let's see. And then we look at the new moon energy. We've got that occurring on November 23rd. So this new moon energy, this is going to be, I think, for you all potentially I don't want to say challenging, but it's 13-4 energy. And so when we have 13-4 energy, this is like Scorpio energy. This is Pluto energy. This is death, transformation, rebirth. There's some kind of major shift, major change, major deconstruction that has to happen so construction can happen type thing. And rebuilding can happen in some area of your life. So there's some area that this new moon is really going to focus on, really going to highlight for you that needs some major transformation. It's going to be up to you to do that work because it's 13-4 energy. This is not necessarily always like divine intervention. This is something where it comes into our awareness and we can't really avoid it. And so we have to do the work to reconstruct it in a way, probably first of all, dismantle it and then reconstruct it in some way. So this can be relationships, career, again, health, whatever. But there's something here that there's going to potentially be some major transformation needed. And typically when it's 13-4 energy, again, it's like building something really beautiful from destruction, from chaos, from something ugly. So there's some area potentially in your life that is chaotic, is not, is toxic, is not healthy for you or the other people in your life. And so this energy is helping to sort of shine a light on that. And that light is going to stay on that until you take some kind of action to move beyond it, to build something healthier, whatever that looks like for you. So for you all, again, the new moon could could be a little bit uncomfortable, I would say, because 13-4 energy is uncomfortable. It's just, but it's again, it works with us, right? To help us to face those things we need to face and, dismantle whatever it is that we need to dismantle so that we can build something better, something more aligned, something healthier. So it's very possible that you all will be seeing that come in around the end of November. I would say it's possible that it has to do with something with the 7 energy, because that's the eclipse energy. And with eclipse energy, it very much like starts or adds to a storyline that's already been in progress. But it brings in new insight. It brings in change around whatever that is. And so it may be for you all, this 13-4 energy is sort of building on that and showing you where it is that these new starts need to happen, where you need to instigate something different, right? Or initiate something different. That's very possible. So just be aware of that, but nothing that you can't handle. And just remember, it's for your greater good, right? Like I always say, like, especially with people with 13-4 energy, a lot of Scorpio placements, who are working with a lot of Pluto energy, the transformation can feel constant. It can feel like you're constantly being like, things are constantly being shifted. And working with Pluto can be sort of a love-hate relationship, because when you're in it, it can feel like very uncomfortable, very much like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to get through this. But when you get out the other side of it, you're like high-fiving Pluto, like, hey, thanks for that, because I really needed this shift. I really needed this change. And like, wow, I'm in so much better alignment now. So thank you. It's like going to the chiropractor, I guess, right? Like you go in misaligned and then you come out aligned. So that's kind of like 13-4 energy or working with Pluto. All right, so I hope it's a beautiful November for you all. Thank you all so much for listening, Nines. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.